Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and everything in between. Welcome back to Geeks Watch. We're at Arcane Season 2, Episode 8, titled Killing is a Cycle. There will be some spoilers, so take that into consideration along with my usual crappy review. So, Victor is somehow still alive, even after Jace blew a big hole in him with his magic hammer. Sin is just keeping him alive. He's in some kind of bubble hooked up with cables to Vander. I'm not sure if Vander's still alive or not. I think he might be, but he's not moving or anything, so I don't know. Mal does leave the Black Rose. The Black Rose says things that tells her that she may not be, her mother, Mal's mother, Mbessa, may not have been completely honest with her, which, having seen what happens in the past, pretty sure she hasn't been. So Mal leaves, seemingly not having to have to escape. They kind of welcome her into the circle of mages. We learn that Mal's magic is basically centered around empathy, although she does have some other strengths. What else do we see? Oh, Caitlin has arrested GEEXX, which kind of makes Vi very angry, but we learn that GEEXX actually surrendered. She was not, she wasn't sought after. GEEXX just gave herself up. And Caitlin's just been keeping her in a holding cell while she figures out what to do. Caitlin actually goes down to try and make peace with GEEXX. That she basically doesn't have the energy to hate her anymore. GEEXX basically admits that she says before Caitlin leaves that she didn't know Caitlin's mother was there when she blew up the building, although she admits it might not have made any difference if she had known. Mal and Jace confront each other in the rebuilt council room. Jace is like very accusatory, like, why didn't you tell me anything about you being a mage? And Mal's basically saying she didn't know. She had no idea she had latent magical abilities, that she could touch the arcane, and that anything she's done prior to this has been just instinctual. She had no real control over it and no knowledge that it really existed. While they're talking, some sort of magical construct, similar to the ones that Jace encountered in his alternate timeline, but this one is brand shiny new instead of bent and broken and corroded. Through it, Victor tries to convince Jace to allow him to complete his magical evolution, to which Jace basically says no. Victor's control over this construct is very impressive. And it nearly wins. It takes Jace and his magic hammer and Mal's newfound magical abilities to defeat it. Meanwhile, Vi goes down to try and free GEEXX to have her escape with her. And GEEXX basically tricks her and locks her in the cell while she leaves. Although it looks like GEEXX is trying to, as she leaves, trying to get her own redemption. Although Vi basically doesn't see that. She basically sees it as another betrayal. And at some point, Caitlin does come down to see Violet and admits that she kind of knew this would happen. She knows who GEEXX is. She knows who Vi is. She deliberately left that particular prison cell unguarded to give Vi the opportunity to talk to GEEXX alone, and predictably that GEEXX would lock her in a cell. let's see. What else we got? Oh, yeah. Jace, after defeating the construct, tries to get the people of Piltover and Zon to help him. He's like, we're all here together. This is something that affects all of us. We need to all pull together to fight what's coming for us. He knows that Mbessa has allied herself with Victor, and that Victor will make more of these arcane constructs and try and take the power of the Hexgate to try and do whatever he plans to do with it. Some people just abandon the city, and some people help. Mal goes to her mother, Mbessa, to try and get her to leave the people of Piltover alone, to which Mbessa basically says, no, the fact that you're here negotiating means that you're too weak to do what's necessary. And using some of our, Victor basically sacrifices the last remaining essence of his assistant that's been keeping him company to get enough magical power to resurrect himself. And in doing so, he basically destroys Vander, whatever remains of him. Let's see, did I miss anything? Well, we still don't know what happened to Echo. He hasn't made an appearance yet, so he could tip the scales. This episode is basically, it's the next to the last episode of the season. And we can see how these things are lining up to go towards what Jay saw in the alternate universe, the obliteration of Piltover and Zon. That Victor is obsessed with his own power and creating what he views as a utopia, and he plans on giving that utopia to people whether they want it or not. This is a slower moving episode. The last few have been actually very slow episodes, but they've all been very solid character-driven episodes. I've said it before, but the fact that these characters are all very gray. You know, when Mal confronts her mother, Mbessa, you get, based on what we know, I do get the impression that Mbessa is lying to Mal and trying to manipulate her. But there is also some real grief there. And we don't exactly, because we don't know much of Mbessa's past, we don't know exactly what choices she has made that she regrets. It's obvious that she's made choices she regrets. There's the ones that she tells us she has done, but given her manipulative and duplicitous nature, I don't trust her. You know, she may have made what she thought were necessary hard choices and she regrets them. But yeah, she's just such a bitch. You know, a cold, manipulative, self-serving woman. I really, really want to know the truth about her. We only got one more episode left, so I don't think I'll get that resolved. We may get a little, I don't know. I still have to watch that last episode. We do at one point in this episode get a nice view of Violet's back tattoo, which I enjoyed. The designs that we've seen half hidden, it's nice to see the whole thing. For multiple reasons. I enjoyed the artwork. I really did. I've always enjoyed the artwork of this series. And that's just a little tidbit. Jinx's behavior when Caitlin goes to visit her, she is obviously torn, psychologically crushed by the child she had taken in, sacrificing themselves. That when Isha sacrificed herself to save Jinx and everyone else, that's really devastated Jinx a lot. You she feels that herself responsible for the deaths of people she cares about, and now she is, at least, even though Isha sacrificed herself willingly, it's still one more person she cared about who's died because of GEEXX's actions. GEEXX is currently as broken as we've ever seen her. All the healing that she seems to have gone through. Yeah, she's in a really dark spot right now. And I don't know what she's going to do. I know Bess is going to come after Piltover and Zahn, if for no other reason than because she feels Caitlyn betrayed her. She is not a woman who forgives. And if she's got the power, she will exact retribution in whatever way she feels necessary. Because this is a TV show, I have a feeling we are going to get some resolution based on what Jace saw in his post-apocalyptic future. I don't know. Also based on that, because Echo's alternate reality was an idealized version of Zahn and Piltover, and Jace's experience in an alternate reality was the worst possible outcome. So the reality and their prime reality that they live in is a mix of the two. Not quite as bad, not quite as good. So I have a feeling, the upcoming conflict is going to meet somewhere in the middle. We are not going to see everyone saved. I don't think we'll see the entire city destroyed, but something bad's going to happen. Given that this is the logical conclusion, the logical thing we can expect, that because this reality is somewhere between those two extremes, we will get an ending that is somewhere between those two extremes. I'm really eager for the last episode. This writing and animation team has continued to knock it out of the park. Episode after episode, even the things I've complained about being slow were just, the writing is so good, and the animation is just right up my alley. I love animation. So, as always, thanks for watching. As always, my stuff is crap. And until next time, good hunting.